Guys, welcome to my channel. It's Vesna here. Thanks for stopping by. For today's video, I am going to be doing a kind of trash to treasure refurbish. So I have this IKEA tray that my friend was going to throw out because it was all rusty and kind of gross looking. I said to her that it could be cleaned up and she said, nah, I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. So I used some alcohol to take some of the rust off, and then I soaked it in vinegar, kind of hoping two different things. I wasn't sure what the material was. It is from IKEA, so maybe like a brush nickel, but I thought maybe I would be lucky and it would be some sort of galvanized, some sort of steel that would get stained, but it wasn't. So anyway, the plan was to soak it in vinegar, and if it aged it, great. If it didn't, I would paint it. So that was the plan. So after I got some of the rust off and I sanded down some of the other rust that I couldn't get off with the alcohol, I wound up just soaking it in vinegar, and I'll show you how I did that. Basically, all I did was soak some paper towel, poured it into the tray, and then let it sit for, I think it was like 5 or 6 hours, because I did it in the morning and then I went back to it when my kiddos went for a nap. So just quickly, I wanted to thank you guys for stopping by my channel. I really do appreciate it. I love doing these kinds of trash to treasure upcycles. I just think we throw out so much stuff, so to be able to reuse some of these things is amazing, and I think you can make everything old and grungy look beautiful and new, even if it's not perfect. I've said this often, perfectly imperfect is beautiful. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, or any kind of decor on a budget, that's what I do on my channel here. I also have another two channels. I have a home channel where I kind of display all of these things, and where I do the little small renos of my house. And then cooking is self-explanatory. If you like all of that kind of stuff, make sure you check out all of my channels. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to 1, 2, 3 channels. And hit that notification bell, hit the big like button, so that way you can see when I post new videos. My last video, I created a farmhouse type of scale. So if you are interested in seeing how I made that, I made it for $3, under $3. So check out my video. I'll link it right up here. So check that out. And so again, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Your comments are always wonderful. I love interacting with you guys. So again, thank you so much. And let's continue on with the rest of the video so you can see how I made this into a beautiful tray. So after soaking for a long time, you can see it cleaned it up really nice. I was almost tempted to leave it like that, but I always like to have a little bit more character to my home decor. So not that this doesn't have character, and if you like this, that's great. I do like it sometimes too, but I have a lot of kind of silver type of trays, so I wanted something a little bit different. So I decided to actually painted. So I was painting the inside gold, and I'm using my metallic acrylic paint, and I'm just dabbing it on and kind of brushing it on really lightly, kind of a light coat just to cover. And then the edges around, I'm going to do kind of like a black galvanized steel is what I was going for. And for that, I used a mixture of paints. So I did the metallic silver, the black acrylic, and white acrylic paint. And then I spray painted it with a gold metallic paint, and what I did was I put painter's tape all around the edges and then just sprayed the middle part with the gold metallic paint, and that just gave it a better looking gold than this acrylic paint. The reason I used the acrylic paint was because I wanted it to have like a little bit of a base of paint, kind of like a primer, and then so that I wouldn't use so much spray paint. And the gold metallic paint that I used was just like a hardware store brand. So it's Rona. If you're in Canada, we still have a few Ronas around. And it was a Rona gold metallic paint. It was the cheapest they had on hand because I didn't know how much of the gold I would be using. I actually bought this last year for a different project. And so this is what it looks like. It's just a metallic finish paint. That's all it is. So any kind of gold spray paint would work. And I did 2 coats of it. So it looks pretty good. And now I'm going to just touch up the spots where I didn't go quite till the end, like to the bottom, and where the tape, because the tape sometimes takes off the paint. So wherever it took it off, I'm just going to go fix that up. And I just use a little piece of cardboard, a round piece of cardboard, just so I don't get the black and silver paint on the gold. I also had my husband drill 2 holes on each side of this tray so that I could add handles. You probably don't have to drill. You could use hot glue, E6000, whichever permanent glue or glue that you prefer using, and glue it on. But I really wanted this to have a nice strong hold, and I was worried with the glue if I was picking it up and putting it down, because I do intend on keeping this tray on my kitchen table, so it'll be moved every time we have a meal. So usually every dinner, and then sometimes lunch, depending on if we're home, all of us home at once. Breakfast we usually have at the island. So he drilled holes with just a bigger drill bit so that I could fit my nautical rope through, and I'll show you what that looks like. Now I added that black combination of paint also to the sides of the tray. I was going to add stuff to the bottom, but then I decided I didn't want to, in case the paint ever starts to chip off or anything, so it doesn't damage the table, or if I want to use it on a white shelf or something like that. So I didn't add it. You can if you want to. I could have spray painted it, but I just didn't think it was worth. No one's going to see the bottom, so there's no point in wasting the paint. So for the rope, what you want to do is you want to attach to each end of the rope. You want to attach a piece of tape so you can get it through the hole easier, otherwise it starts to split. And I just used the nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and I measured out both pieces, how long I wanted them to be, and it was just a rough estimate of how long I needed it to be. And then I just put them through and I tied a big knot at the bottom. So as you can see, there's the tape and the knot, and I did this with both sides. Now the length of the rope was roughly 22 inches. I cut it a little bit longer than I needed to, and then I just cut it down a bit more, but roughly 22 inches. Again, it's to whatever you want it to be. Just make sure both sides are even. And I think the first one I made a little bit smaller, so the second one I had to cut down a little bit. That's why I'm saying about 22 inches, because originally it was 25 inches. So I cut a little bit down. And I always save every piece that I cut off because you can always use them. So I also measured how big the little loop was to make sure that I was making them exactly the same, or at least pretty close. So that's all you want to be careful with. If it's easier for you, you could even mark off on the tape how big you want the loop to be, and so that way the other one you could do the same thing, so you can make sure that they're exactly the same if you wanted to make it perfect. And then finally I added some Mod Podge just to protect the paint, because I will be moving this on and off of my table. I wanted to make sure that the paint doesn't chip off, and I did this all around the tray as well as the edges. And that is all there is to this project. I guess it cost me about $1 plus the paint supplies, but I always have the paint supplies on hand, so it's hard for me to calculate how much that would be, and it's not like I used the full bottle. But really cheap and inexpensive way to soup up this tray and make it look really high-end, I think. And here it is, just with a little bit of decor. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have an excellent day. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, giving me a big thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you can see when I post new videos. I am posting on Tuesdays and Sundays now. It used to be Tuesdays and Fridays. It's now Tuesdays and Sundays. We are in a lockdown, so I'm doing a lot of kind of trash to treasure combinations, some Dollar Tree DIYs with the stuff that I have left over. We'll see. We're supposed to be in this lockdown for 6 weeks. We are in week 2 now. So we'll see how many supplies I'll have, but I have lots of thrifted items and trash to treasure items and furniture upcycles that I can do because they're just projects that I've been waiting to do and haven't had the chance to do. So it will be the perfect time now. So you'll see a bit more of that on my channel in the next little while. Hopefully you still like it. Let me know what you guys think, whether you're excited about more furniture and type of trash to treasure or whether you prefer those Dollar Tree DIYs. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day. Stay safe and thanks for watching.